We live in a polluted community, living in shacks that are leaking, shacks that have no electricity. And then if you look across, you see nice houses, people that are rich, people that are living their life, people that are enjoying life while we are suffering.
Ottawa is one of over 1.3 billion people living in extreme poverty. Eradicating poverty by 2030 is the #1 of the Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations. On October 17th, the UN in Geneva launched their flagship report, Policy Innovations for Transformative Change.
I am seeing an absolutely amazing appropriation of these goals in all levels of society, whether it's government, it's civil society, it's a business community, that gives a lot of hope that we will achieve this. I see no reason why we can't.
But what about the statement in the Bible that the poor will always be among us?
The word used in the New Testament is anawim. Anawim refers to the disenfranchised, those whom by virtue of the powerful, their rights have been taken away from them. So they have no access to anything that is rightfully theirs. It is what we call injustice.
Recently, Pope Francis called it the crime of poverty, and that the powers of the world were guilty of creating it. In his address to the UN in New York, Pope Francis petitioned banks not to abuse developing countries with usury and oppressive lending practices. Oppressive lending systems which, far from promoting progress, subject people to mechanisms which generate greater poverty, exclusion and dependence.
What is the role of financial intermediation in the evolution of our society? You've got to remember that bankers, people in finance, are the intermediaries between savings of capital and uses of capital. We in the middle, we have to take the savings and distribute it to the users of capital. But what is finance if it's not also ethical?
Back in 325 AD, the First Council of Nicaea forbade all clergy from usury, and even though condemned for centuries by popes and councils, interest was later redefined. As a result, the only interest-free ethical banking globally is not Christian finance, but Islamic finance.
And one thing that I admire about Islamic finance is it goes back to the original rules of the Catholic Church, where distribution of risk and reward had to be equitable.
Inequality is the root of social evil, says Pope Francis. That includes immorality, greed and absence of core values.
You're worshiping God, and your love of your family, and care of your family, and love and care for your community. And a lot of the Western values in modern finance are in violation of those core values.
Eradicating all forms of poverty and to leave no one behind is also a call to apply ethical principles in Western finance.
I won't become something in life